You may or may not recollect a video that we had a few weeks ago where I made the point that you don't need to know what you want out of life to enable you get it. Now, a couple of people have said to me that they still can't get their head around the 1,000-piece jigsaw that I mentioned in that particular video, that in setting your mind you only need to give your mind to the corner pieces of the jigsaw, and the subconscious mind, the bit that knows best, will be able to fill in the other 996 pieces. This happens effortlessly the more we clear our mind. Let me put it another way. Every time you meditate, every morning you meditate, assuming that you're meditating every morning, and even if you aren't, every morning that you do meditate takes you a step up the ladder. The ladder away from the mire of mindlessness in which the vast majority of people on this earth exist. Thinking that it's living, by the way. This, as you climb the ladder, is like a game of snakes and ladders without the snakes. In other words, the more you climb up, the more you bank the practice, the training, the exercise in your subconscious mind, the more you restructure permanently your subcortical brain. The further you climb up this ladder, like any ladder, the farther you can see. In other words, you have a different perspective on what your heart desires in your life. Let me put it another way. When we sit down to meditate, the key thing we are doing is clearing our mind. Some people who are meditating for a longer period of time, or indeed one or two people that I was talking to on one of our recent Zoom sessions for online program owners said to me, he said, I have discovered or experienced this gap where there is nothing in my head. And this nothingness leads me into a place where I know I'm flowing effortlessly in the right direction. The more you clear your mind, and this is going to sound absolutely obvious when I say it, the more you clear your mind, the clearer everything becomes. And in particular, not the clearer what your heart desires out of life becomes, not that, but the clearer your mind becomes in relation to understanding what I need to do now, today, to enable me live the life that I would love to live, which gradually becomes clearer the further we trip along this adventure of a lifetime. In other words, I often talk about the 2-piece jigsaws, distinct from the 1,000-piece one that I mentioned a minute ago. That the two things we need to live the life that we'd love to live is to turn up to the here and now and know why I have turned up to the here and now. The first piece of the jigsaw feeds the second piece of the jigsaw, which means we need to meditate. We need to meditate. We need to mini-meditate. We need to remind ourselves to be present. We need to choose moment to moment to be here and now rather than all over the place.